Thanks. Thank you. So the NVR or DVR is usually on site. You need to be on site to review that footage. For those of you that are familiar with IT's place in their security tech stack, you'll be very familiar with the idea of opening up firewalls or open ports to make that footage available remotely. Anyone that has access to their camera footage from their phones, from their laptops, will likely have put someone from the IT department through a little bit of hell. What the Verkada are trying to do is simplify this architecture, modernize it with the technology that's available to us today to really make this an easy solution for you to use across your teams. If we can move on to the next slide. The same goes for access control. So access control is also built on very old technology, which is why there is usually so many components to it. It's bulky, it's hard to move. There's always a single point of failure on both sides, right? If someone breaks in, if they steal your server or they steal your master controller, that's it. Your data is gone, or in the camera case, your footage is gone. With Verkada, we're combating that by taking a hybrid cloud approach, which we'll see in a short moment. So this is how we're modernizing the security space. By taking this hybrid cloud approach, we're using the best of both worlds by pairing modern hardware with the cloud to give you a reliable security platform. So in the camera's case, that includes a solid state drive or SSD, which actually stores the footage itself locally on that camera. Gone are the days of you needing to hope your cameras are sensing when motion is picked up. These cameras are recording 24/7 at 24 frames per second, and we're pairing that with the cloud so that there's no single point of failure, right? These can be used online or offline. By pairing it with the cloud, we're also giving you really strong capabilities to monitor your security platform from anywhere, whether it be your cameras, your doors, or if you have a sensor on the site. And these can be accessed from your mobile phone via app or on a browser. And this also provides us with limitless scale. So the cameras, again, talking about those a little bit because it's very, very simple to picture. Gone are the days of NVR or DVR for access control or door access. Gone are the days of needing an on-site server. They're plug and play solutions. So you can plug them in, you can move them around, you can have as many as you want. You're not limited to the NVR or DVR as you once were. Let's start with the cameras, as they were really the introduction to the security industry for Verkada. As I mentioned before, it's a very, very simple setup. Cameras, as I mentioned, are plug and play. They are simple Ethernet plug into a PoE-enabled switch, and they're fully online and operational within minutes. If you do have a very remote location, let us know. We have also worked with some extremely remote deployments that we can talk to you about. The built-in storage is hugely helpful. You do have options right up to 365 days of footage locally. So that exists on your camera, and the cameras also build a local area network between them, meaning it's very, very quick and easy to stay connected while you're on site. And the last point here is the automatic update. So by pairing the new technology with the cloud, you're able to get frequent firmware updates. So you're always a step of the game, ahead of the game with your functionality when it comes to functionality. We can show a very, very quick example. There's many things that you can do when in the security platform. This is what we call command. And this is just one example here. So what you can see here is actually a floor plan that's been uploaded by one of our customers into the back end here, giving them complete bird's eye view of their site. They can also see where those cameras are positioned on their site, and you'll notice these blobs here that are moving around are actually live motion plotting, meaning we can see where people are moving around in real time on our site. We can move our cameras around also because they are plug and play. So gone are the days where you're kind of guessing what kind of coverage you need. You've got the data right there in front of you to decide how many cameras should be on this particular site, where they should be located. You can also see historical heat maps as well. To access control, so huge addition to the platform was access control and having that live with the cameras themselves in the same environment. The great thing with Verkada access control, you get real-time visibility, no matter if you are a security personnel or maybe you're just a receptionist. Right, by pairing the camera with access control, that access controlled door, using that seamless integration, you can see as and when a door event happens, i.e. someone's held one open, what that accompanying footage looks like. These doors can be remotely managed as well. So there are a number of proactive measures you can put in place to make sure that they're opening for the right people at the right times. But in the, those odd occasions that do happen, let's, as an example, a contractor comes in and you're not there on site to greet that contractor, you would be able to open those doors remotely from anywhere in the world. And similar to the cameras, there's limitless scale, right? You don't need that online server at the site itself anymore. All you need are door controllers and door readers. Paired with the cloud, you can have a limitless number of controlled doors. So here's another example from Command, the same platform. So a single pane of glass giving you access to the cameras, the access control, and the environmental sensors. What we're seeing here is actually a view of all of the door events that have happened on one particular door. This particular individual has filtered for just door held open events, but you can do this for many, many different occurrences. A very popular one here in the UK is tailgating, whereby a event will be created every time more than one person walks through a door that's only been badged into once. And as I mentioned before, you get the accompanying contextual footage here, allowing you to see what's actually happened. Does that incident need to be investigated further? Rounding out the platform is the cloud connected environmental sensors. So these are measuring a number of things: temperature, PM2.5, TVOC, air quality index, TVOC and PM2.5 are very, very similar readings. These are actually looking for pollutants in the air. So as you can imagine, the sensors are used for various different reasons. We've got a lot of schools now using the vape detection to detect whenever their students might be smoking in the toilets. But we've also got large, medium, small businesses using the temperature readings to keep an eye on their server rooms, making sure that they're not overheating for whatever reason. Now, the sensors, just like the cameras, can be accessed from anywhere using the Command platform I mentioned before. What you can see on the screen here is actually a snapshot of Command from your mobile phone. So this is by downloading the native mobile app. It's available to any iOS or Apple phone device users. You can log in, you can set up your proactive alerts beforehand. As an example, I want to be alerted when the temperature goes above I don't know, 25 degrees Celsius in a particular room. That's way too warm. You'll receive that alert directly from the palm of your hand in your device, and then you can see the accompanying footage alongside that. This has been extremely powerful for some of our customers, not only being able to access everything they need to from their laptops. And we actually have a school that recently onboarded who were pinged when the vape sensor went off in one of their bathrooms, pulled up the mobile phone and saw the accompanying footage. Essentially, by pulling up that footage so quickly, they're able to share that footage with both the head of year and that particular student's teacher, and they're able to have a sit down about that particular incident. So it can be as simple as that by putting in those proactive measures and using your mobile app to follow up on an incident and deal with that as it should be. That's a very, very high level overview of the platform. We do apologize for the technical issues at the start there, kind of delaying us slightly. If you would like to have a look at some of these solutions in a bit more detail, we have many customers on board that are happy to share their stories. Most importantly, though, we can get the technology in your hands. So the cameras and the sensors, we are offering a 30-day free trial, no obligation. We'll pay for the shipping to and from your site. And this is an opportunity for you to get hands-on and compare what you've seen today with what you're using currently. But for now, thanks for your time all. I hope to see questions in the chat, which we can hang around to respond to. Thank you all. For those still on the line, we will be sending out a survey following the presentation today. If you would like to get your hands on the tech, let us know in that survey. We'll happily get that in your hands as soon as we can. So I've just got a question come in to the chat about the ability to rotate the camera. The cameras are fixed cameras. That being said, they can be positioned wherever or however you like them to be. The cameras do also come with mounts, many different mounts for different types of environments. So we'll scope out any kind of project that you've got going on, make sure that you've got the right mount, the right camera, positioned how it should be. There are no minimum, sorry, just to repeat the question there. We are asked if there is a minimum amount of cameras or maximum. There are no minimums or maximums here. And the great thing with going down the hybrid cloud approach is that it's completely limitless in scale. And we can talk to you individually a little bit about how we keep the bandwidth low, because that's very, very important going down a cloud route. But there are no limits. There's no limit to storage either. You can store as many clips as you like, which is another benefit of going down the cloud route. Got a question. Can you reroute camera feeds to a different location using an app? You can do that. So in the back end of Command, you have different user permissions that you're able to set up and different groups of people with different permissions. Now, once you start setting up your cameras, you can give different groups access to different cameras. Give you a very, very basic example. You've got 3 sites, you have 3 managers. Each manager only has access to those individual sites. So you can reroute different cameras, and those are all visible by user. So whether they log in on their laptops or their mobile app, and they will see what they should be able to see. Great question coming in from Helen. If our internet went down, would we have no recordings? That's not true. So the great thing by going down this hybrid cloud approach is that the footage is stored on the camera itself locally. That's recording all the time, offline or on. By pairing this with the cloud, it gives you great additional options to access those recordings once you are online, but those recordings are safe and sound on the camera itself. So I've got a question from Kevin. Is the local storage encrypted? Oh, sorry, that just moved down a little bit. In case it's stolen. So if a camera is stolen, one thing we didn't mention actually in the presentation, each camera contains an accelerometer, and that accelerometer will send you what we call a tamper alert anytime anyone's touching that camera, and it's sensitive enough that it will go off even if someone put a covering over that camera. Now, what the system will do if it realizes that someone is tampering with a camera is it automatically start backing up whatever footage has been captured on into the cloud, so that you don't lose that footage. Single sign-on is available. Yes, it's something that we encourage. Any users that have, well, any companies that have potentially quite a few users, makes that access a lot easier. How long does the footage store locally before it begins to overwrite? A great question. That depends on the camera you go for. So we have cameras ranging in storage from 15 days right up to 365 days. And depending on your projects, we'll recommend the correct camera for you. But you've got right up to 365-day cameras. And there is also free cloud backup included with our license. You get 30 days free cloud backup. So you can back up anything within the month that has been recorded in K as an extra failsafe. Great question. Can you archive clips and send to users outside your company? You absolutely can. And this is made very, very simple as well. You do have control over those clips. So I mentioned before, you have unlimited storage of clips in the cloud. When you save those are indefinitely stored. And then you're able to send them via text, email, or there is a link that you can generate and just send out. Easiest way though is text or email, and you control how much access that person has to that clip. So do you want to make them a simple viewer, or do you want to give them the ability to make download that clip, as an example? And you simply just send it via SMS or email. As I said, it is an instantaneous send as well. I'll be happy to show you how easy that is to use following today's presentation. Excuse me. What are the rates of security if you can't rotate the camera? So there are a couple of options here when we're scoping out a project with you alongside UK IT networks. We can recommend which type of camera is needed depending on what areas need coverage. And we do have a specific camera which is really, really popular for getting as much coverage as possible, which is our fisheye camera, which although it can't rotate, it's a fixed camera, it does have electronic pan tilt zoom, which means it can record a 360 degree radius, but you can go into the camera and rotate the image around to see what's happened in a particular incident. So there are a few options. We just need to scope it out with you. Any other questions, please do feel free to send them through now. Otherwise, we'll happily follow up after today.